Pokémon Champions is finally here, and whether you're completely new or jumping in as a competitive player, there's a lot the game doesn't fully explain. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you actually need to know to get started, from building your first team to earning resources to understanding what's free and what's paid. Right now, Pokémon Champions has 213 Pokémon available, including all of the forms. 59 of those Pokemon are Mega Pokemon, and they're the only ones currently available in the game. And it's worth knowing, as new formats are introduced over time, more Pokemon are likely to be added, especially since not every Mega Pokemon is currently available yet. Now, Champions is a free-to-play game, and throughout this guide, I'll point out where the paid options are and how they can potentially speed things up. The main one to be aware of early on is the Starter Pack bundle. For a one-off cost of $6.99, you get 50 extra Pokemon storage spaces, 30 teammate tickets, which allows you to permanently recruit Pokemon without using victory points, and 50 trainer tickets, which again allows you to use these instead of spending your VP. This is probably the most impactful purchase you can make if you're thinking about paying at all. On a second account, I built and fully trained a full team of 6 Pokemon and started climbing the ranked ladder with no issues. Alongside that, I was still able to recruit a total of 18 Pokemon, so you're not locked into just one team either. When you first start the game, you'll select your language, region, put in your date of birth, and you can customize your character. Don't worry if you're not happy with how your character looks right now, you can change this later on in the style menu. After selecting your username, you'll have access to the menu setting, and here you can adjust the audio. This is the music, Pokemon cries, the sound effects. There will be battle display info like weather and terrain that you can toggle on and off. In the controls, you don't really have too many options here, just turning on vibrations, and your profile settings like friend requests and visibility. These settings, although accessible now, can be accessed later in the game in the sub-menu section. This is where you'll also find access to mystery gifts. And talking about mystery gifts, right now, if you're playing before the 31st of August 2026, you can redeem a free Machamp using the code CHAMPION. Once you've entered this code, head into your mailbox to claim the Machamp. It does come fully trained, and it will be in a Cherish Ball. Now, after setting your username, the game introduces you to Cody of the Champions Gym, Tatora at the front desk, and you'll also receive Roti, your Rotom assistant that helps guide you through battles. From here, you'll go through the mandatory battle tutorials, and these are actually really well done, especially for newer players, and even if you're more experienced, they're pretty quick to complete without dragging things out too much. After the tutorial, you'll unlock Roster Ranch with Kit, and you'll have the chance to select your first Pokemon in the game. Now, the first set of 10 Pokemon you're going to see in Roster Ranch are predetermined. From these, you can choose one of them, and that choice will then determine the rest of the first team that you'll receive. So for example, if you pick Tyranitar here, you'll also receive an Arcanine, a Whimsicott, a Drampa, Aggron, and a Sylveon from Cody straight after this setup. So your initial choice here directly shapes your first full team of 6 Pokemon. And as you can see on the screen, I'll have all of the information about what Pokemon you'll get from which Pokemon you pick. This first team as well comes at no cost, so it comes with spending no victory points, and it'll give you a solid starting point immediately to begin your ranked battle journey. The game will then guide you through automatically setting up the team of 6, and then you'll enter your first match. This is going to be a singles format, so 3 versus 3. And after this, once you've completed it, you'll move up the rank from beginner rank into Pokeball rank. Now, there are 6 ranks in total on the ranked ladder. You're going to start at that beginner level, and you move into Pokeball. There'll be 4 ranks in each one of these subsections. So in Pokeball, you'll have rank 4, then you'll move to rank 3, 2, and 1. Once you complete 1, you'll move up to Great Ball tier. And the same could be said throughout all of the other ranks. So it'll go from Great Ball, then into Ultra Ball, then into Master Ball, and then finally the top one is Champion tier. You can play both singles 3 versus 3 or doubles where you bring 4 and use 2 at a time, but more on the ranked ladder in a moment. Once that initial battle is complete, you'll then be introduced to Caraway and Kajima, where you'll receive your Omni Ring. This allows you to Mega Evolve your Pokemon and will likely be used for other mechanics like Terrestrialization, Dynamax, and Z-moves when they're added in future. You'll also receive 10,000 victory points for just doing this tutorial, And from here, you're pretty much free to play however you want. Now, the first thing that we're going to touch upon is the Battle Pass. From the main menu, you can press your X button and this will access the Battle Pass. Every new season, you'll get rewards that are based on the number of battles that you play. This will update every month or so when a new season begins. And there is also a premium battle pass that you can obtain, but that does cost $9.99 per month. For this, I don't know really if it's worth it. It gives you access to 15 additional rewards opposed to the free ones that you would just get on a non-played pan. These include Pokemon, Megastones, and cosmetic items, but all gameplay related items can still be earned using victory points in the shop. So unlike the starter pack as a paid option in Champions, I'm not really sold on the premium battle pass as being that worthwhile. But saying that, you do get easy access to some Megastones and clothing if you're into that sort of thing. Now on to the main core system of this game, and that is going to be, outside of battling, recruiting Pokemon. To get new Pokemon, head to the recruit option here, and in Roster Ranch, every 22 hours, you'll be able to generate a new lineup of 10 Pokemon. And from this, you can select one of the Pokemon on a 7-day trial basis, so that's essentially for free. When you do this though, just bear in mind that you can't train up this Pokemon in any way unless you permanently recruit it. The other option from this lineup is to permanently recruit this Pokemon at the cost of 2,500 victory points or 1 team ticket. Now, I mentioned that every new lineup has a 22-hour cooldown, but this can be shortened. You can either use victory points or quick coupons. And just a quick bonus tip for you guys watching this now: if you're playing before the 9th of May 2026, check your mailbox. You'll get a Dragonite Pokemon for free, and on top of this, 100 quick coupons that can be used to speed up the recruitment process. And just for your information as well, if you are doing these lineups often, there is a chance that any one of the 10 Pokemon showing up in any random lineup can be shiny. So shiny Pokemon can appear through Pokemon Champions. I don't have the confirmed odds for this yet, but I did find a shiny Talonflame through this method, so it's definitely worth checking your lineups regularly, even if you've got a bunch of Pokemon already integrated from home or you've already recruited a bunch already. Now, alongside Roster Ranch recruiting through the lineups, you can also transfer Pokemon in from Pokemon Home. If you've got access to the older Pokemon games and you store them in home, then the ones that are available currently in Champions are going to be able to be transported into Champions for use in battle. To do this though, you're going to have to go into the Pokemon Home app on your Switch, or you can do this through mobile as well. Then once you're at the menu screens, if you go down and select the Champions icon here, and then you can just transfer whatever Pokemon are eligible. It is worth noting though that you can only transfer 30 Pokemon at a time. So if you've got the full Champions Pokedex ready to go in Pokemon Home, you're gonna have to take multiple trips between Pokemon Home, select the 30 Pokemon, then come out, go back into Champions, go into Roster Ranch, and then move those over into Pokemon Champions from Pokemon Home, and then repeat the process until you've transferred everything across. Now, Pokemon that you have moved from Pokemon Home to Champions, they are going to be locked out from doing anything else in any other Pokemon game until they're returned back to Pokemon Home from Pokemon Champions. And it's also worth noting as well that any changes that are made in Champions won't carry back to home. But those changes are saved, so if you bring that same Pokemon back into Champions later, the training that you've done on them will be restored. Now, we touched upon how you can obtain Pokemon or transfer Pokemon into Pokemon Champions. Now we're going to talk about the training system. In the training section here, you can change pretty much anything, and it's really intuitive and pretty straightforward. You can change your Pokemon stats, their moves, their natures, and their abilities. This does cost victory points, but you can save your victory points for items in the shop, which I would definitely strongly recommend if possible, if you've got access to trainer tickets instead. So if you've got that starter pack, you're going to have a bunch of trainer tickets. I would definitely recommend using those. Of course, if you are playing on a free account, I've set up my second account completely free. I did have to spend VP to do all the training necessary for the Pokemon that I was putting into a team. Now, once you've trained up your team, there is options of using replica teams as well, so you can share your own team if you want to, and that creates an ID that other players can use to replicate the team in their own game. or you can import teams from other players to use their teams that they've had success with. But the big caveat here is you must already own the Pokemon that are in those teams to actually be able to use this feature. So this isn't a rental system as such. It definitely feels like a bit of a step backwards from what we're used to in the competitive scene. It's more of a template system that you can share your builds around in the community. Now, the next thing is going to be moving on to the tutorials, because this is going to be actually really important. There are 8 additional tutorials that you can complete, and they're absolutely worth doing. Doesn't matter what level you are competitively, because the rewards that you're going to receive here are going to be really valuable, especially if you're playing on just a free account. Oh, when you complete the doubles tutorial, you'll get 10,000 victory points as a reward for doing that. For Mega Evolution tutorial, you'll actually receive 8 Mega Stones. These include the Garchompide, Beedrillite, Gyarados-eyed, Steelix-eyed, Heracross-eyed, Agronite, Manectric-eyed, and the Mega Stone for a Bomber Snow. So to save yourself having to buy these in the shop later, it's worth just doing this tutorial and getting them all now. And the rest of the tutorials in here are going to offer up quick coupons and teammate tickets, which again, like I've said, which are huge rewards, especially for free-to-play players. Now, the next option in your main menu screen is going to be your box and storage. Your box shows the permanent Pokemon you have. These are shown with a green infinity symbol. The trial Pokemon you have, which is a yellow timer, and then a home icon for any Pokemon that are transferred in from Pokemon Home. If you're a free-to-play player, you get 30 storage slots and then 3 battle teams that you can populate. You can, however, increase your storage by ranking up for free. So we'll get into that in a moment, but that is something that you can do without having to pay for the starter pack or paying for the membership. But the box system just is basically an overview of all the Pokemon that you've got currently access to on your account. And here is where you'll be able to put your battle teams together from the Pokemon that you've got. So you just move the Pokemon over to each and every battle team, make sure you've put items on them, and then you'll be good to go. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the shop. So in here, you're going to have the premium shop and you're going to have the regular shop. So the premium shop, there isn't really much here other than the microtransactions that you can access in Pokemon Champions. First one is the battle pass, the premium battle pass that you can get. We've talked about that already in the video. That is going to be $9.99 per month for pretty much 15 extra exclusive items that you get, which I don't really think is worth the value. And the next option is going to be a Champions membership. So this is an annual or monthly membership. So the annual membership for this is going to be $49.99. And for this, you get storage space for an extra 1,000 Pokemon. You get 15 extra battle teams, and there will be extra missions available and rewards. So for those of you that might be competing a lot at events, or if you're a content creator, I think the membership option could be a good option, especially if you're wanting to create lots of battle teams and publish those frequently. And it gives you the space to do that. Otherwise, I don't think it's super necessary option that you have to commit to. Then outside of the premium shop, you're going to have the frontier shop. And this is the normal shop where you're going to come in. Everything here is paid for using victory points. This is where you're going to get your battle items, you're going to get your mega stones, and all of your cosmetic items, including hair, outfits, accessories, and also your battle poses, your victory poses, and your throwing styles, and battle music as well. Now, some other things that are worth knowing in Pokemon Champions: you can select your profile from the sub menu. In your profile is where you're going to find your trainer ID. That is hidden normally, so if you're online with this, you can hide it. But if you want to see what it is, just press the X button in here. It will reveal your trainer ID, and that's what you're going to use to share with friends, to be added as a friend on other accounts, and to do private battles and things like that. In here as well, you're going to be able to see your stats and achievements. And then the next option in the sub menu is going to be achievement rewards. So there is 2 sets of achievement rewards. You're going to have specific ones based on Pokemon, and you're going to have personal ones which are kind of more trainer rewards. Each time that you complete a certain criteria for a Pokemon or for a trainer reward, you're going to be rewarded victory points. You'll get titles and badges included with this. So these are definitely worth coming and keeping an eye on, especially if you're doing a lot of battles throughout, or if there is that one title that you're wanting. Have a look at it. The increments are different. The Pokemon ones have a 10 increment, a 50, and a 100 to complete them. All 3 stars for each Pokemon. And then your trainer achievements, some of them will have 3 stars, some of them will have 5 stars. The 5-star ones go all the way up to 500. The 3-star generally go to around 300 battles to actually max them out. Now, I did briefly mention your friends list. Now, this is another thing in the sub menu that you can access. Now, here you can send friend requests using trainer IDs to become friends with players. And you can also see the requests, receive requests, and then you have a block list as well. Now, other useful things down in the bottom bar menu are going to be missions. So this is going to be where you're going to come on a daily basis if you're playing the game a lot. You're going to have daily missions which update every 22 hours with new criteria, so you can earn VP, quick coupons, and other rewards. And none of these require any of the paid options. Weekly missions as well, which re-roll as in the name every week. You do have the ability to re-roll the different missions as well. So some of the missions you'll see a recycle sign on there. That's allowing you to re-roll it. So if it's something like we've got here, send grass type Pokemon into battle 5 times. If I haven't got a grass type on the team that I'm currently using, then I could re-roll that by pressing the Y button. And you get so many re-rolls available each and every time that you do that. Then you're going to have starter missions. These are just things that you're going to be doing when you're first starting out in the game, but do give a good amount of VP, quick coupons, and other items that are going to be useful for training up your team. And then if you do have the paid membership, you'll have, this is the exclusive membership missions section where you're going to have trainer tickets, you're going to have quick coupons and teammate tickets as well that are going to be able to access by completing certain things, and they will renew every week as well. So there'll be like a weekly mission, they'll renew every 7 days or so, and you'll be able to get those on a consistent basis. Now, the gameplay loop for Pokemon Champions is pretty simple. You play ranked battles, you earn roughly 300 victory points for every match that you win. You get around 100 victory points for every match that you lose. You rank up for additional rewards, and every time that you do hit a new rank, say from Pokeball to Great Ball tier, you're going to get 1,000 victory points for doing this, and you'll get additional storage on top of that. So by going from the Pokeball tier rank to Great Ball rank, you'll have to enter a cutscene, and you'll get 5 extra storage spaces for your Pokemon box. That will occur when you go from Great Ball to Ultra Ball as well. And then from Ultra Ball into Master Ball, you're going to get 10 additional storage spaces. So by getting to Master Ball rank, you can increase your storage space up to 50 if you're just on the free account. So when starting out, it's a good idea to just pick one Mega Pokemon to build your team around. Now, this might be the Pokemon that you got at the start of the game, like a Charizard and for Charizard Y. This might be something like Tyranitar, but it's best to kind of try and build your team around that Mega. So you've got speed control for it, you've got support, you've got Pokemon to take down the threats that are a big obstacle for that Mega Pokemon. So it just allows it to be the centerpiece of your team. I would also advise to use your victory points to get any Mega Stones that you need that are necessary for that Mega Pokemon. And if you are unsure about putting a team together, if you're just starting out completely new to competitive, you can always use the auto build feature in the box options. Although it probably won't be the most optimal option that there is, but it can be a good alternative if you're just stuck when starting out with Pokemon to put in your team. For those of you that might want to do a bit of extra reading, I've linked a great resource in the description from VGC Pokepists, and you can check that out for inspiration on teams that others have been using, putting together, and having success with on the ranked ladder. And this is primarily just for doubles battles, sorry. So once you've put your team together, you then just climb the rank ladder to earn more resources so you can build more teams, get access to more Pokemon and items on top of that. Most players early on will be using their default teams, so even a slightly optimized team will give you a bit of an advantage just to speed up through this process. I'm not gonna lie, I bought the starter pack on my main account. Having access to the trainer tickets and the teammate tickets did make a huge difference, as well as the extra storage as well that you got on top of it. I mean, I had to go for the membership anyway because I had so many Pokemon that I wanted to transfer over from Pokemon Home. So I have all of the different paid options. I don't think that you really need the membership. I think you can get away without that one, but the starter pack is definitely something I would say if you're going to play this frequently, quite a lot. I think the starter pack is worth getting early on to help you just build those teams and get resources in a place where you're happy with, so you're not struggling or feel like you're always playing catch up. But the big takeaway is it's completely possible to progress through Pokemon Champions on a fully free account. even without Pokemon Home. Pokemon Home is a huge advantage, I think, for obtaining a lot of the Pokemon that might be quite popular, especially higher up the ladder, but it's not something that is going to make or break your experience or allow you to enjoy this game or further progress your competitive experience. In my opinion, the paid options just help speed things up that little bit more. But once you understand the systems in game, the whole experience becomes a really straightforward loop of just building teams, battling, acquiring VP, and then improving those teams over time, recruiting new Pokemon, and kind of rinse and repeat. And that's basically everything that you're going to need to know to get started. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon Champions content. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying Pokemon Champions in the early stages of this game's release, and I'll see you all in the next one.